Hello and welcome to Follow Everton. I am Ryan, your host for today's video, and I'm joined by Andy Mabbs, the one and only Everton fan, super fan. Mabbsy, how are you?
Um,
Shaking you.
asked me half an hour ago. I was absolutely okay. Asked me now. I'm just flapping because I've just been called in to work on Sunday. So
Oh, you're
I'm
joking.
I'm going down to Dover. So need to sort that out in a minute.
Can they do that at such short notice?
I volunteered, didn't thinking I'd get chosen, and now it is what it is. I've got to do it, which is fine. But so I'll sort it out.
We'll have to talk about that off air. While we're on the topic, I'm hoping you will get to see the game. I mean, you might wish you hadn't seen it.
I'll be driving, so hopefully I'll let my mate drive and get it on the phone. Hopefully.
Is he a blue, is he?
Yeah, he's on the blue side, but hopefully we can share we're sharing the drive and time.
Or conveniently have to break the car down at 2 o'clock and get back on the road at approximately 4:10.
It's going to need to get some few pints in when we get there. So straight down. We're on the radio. I'll have it on the phone. Best I can do.
In fairness, Mabbsy, we haven't got a good record down at the Etihad, really. I want to talk about some of the past performances first and foremost, and try and look ahead to Sunday's game with a view of how we can try and stop Man City and how we can actually get a positive result, because it's been quite disappointing, hasn't it, since David Moyes has left?
Yeah, Kevin De Bruyne is out, isn't he?
Is he?
Yeah, got COVID. He's not going to be. He's out. Confirmed out now.
Okay, and anyone else?
Not that I'm aware of, but that is, De Bruyne is definite not playing.
That's a massive bonus for Everton and a huge loss for Man City. Just talking about the previous fixtures, obviously we haven't had much success against Man City in general, really, since David Moyes left. There was a couple of wins at home I can think of, the 4-0 under Ronald Koeman.
One in the cup.
Everton have got to improve and step.
There was one in the cup semis. Was it the semis? Was it a Carling Cup? It was. We beaten 2-0. I think it's 2-0 at home, and then just got swatted by them at the Etihad.
Yeah, I remember. I mean, there's been a few narrow misses as well. What I would say is, against Man City, it's almost a bit of a huff and a puff, and ultimately losing anyway. Obviously, last season was pretty bad. We allowed Sergio Aguero the freedom of the penalty area to head, and bear in mind he's 5'7". You know, get a hat trick in his final game for City, and it was criminal, really. Last game for Carlo Ancelotti as well, Mabbsy. Just bringing in Jeff. He says hello. Hi, Jeff. Mabbsy, it was appalling, wasn't it, that we allowed the small Sergio Aguero on his final game the freedom of the pitch, and it was almost like a charity match for him. Everton have got to play with far more intensity on Sunday, haven't they, to pick up a point at least.
I mean, I'm not. It is an excuse, isn't it? They were on holiday and he'd nothing to play for. You know, you don't know what that rat said to them. You know, whether he told them he was going, and so you don't know. I mean, but as I say, you know, our performances, we usually get tanked at City. I've been on several whippings at the Etihad. But yeah,
what I would say, Mabs, in recent seasons, I think we've done reasonably okay up to a point, and then what happens is we kind of surrender to the typical City goal. I'm thinking about particularly the games at Goodison Park. We really should. I don't know where my pop shield's gone, so I apologise for this sound coming out the mic if it sounds a bit too. We've played a low block in general against Man City and tried to counter-attack them. And in turn, what that's done is allowed a lot of space in front of kind of the two banks of four, even spaces between the lines to get these shots off. And the last few games that I think we played against them that we've lost, we've defended the box really well, apart from the one at Man City. But at home, certainly, we defend the box quite well. But then we let them get these like pot shots off from around the box, and we can't close them down. And Pickford's extremely vulnerable to those sorts of long-range shots. And how can we find a way of restricting their ability to score these goals from outside of the box whilst obviously not being ridiculously defensive where we can't get out and do anything?
The only problem is, you look at City, they've not got a striker, and it's still not in for fun against everyone. You know what I mean? As I said, as much as it's kind of like to say we've got to go tactically minded, you can't in this game. Unfortunately, you've just got to be boring, just defend as much as possible. I don't know, and then try as you can to hit them on the break, which with the squad that we've got. And I hate
it's going to be difficult.
I hate sounding negative, and I don't like being negative about Everton, but I'm not a Negatonian. I'm not. Well, I'm just realistic at this one. It's, you've got to look at them. If they had a Kane on top form, you know what I mean? They bought Kane in, and he was on top form. I think that's been their mistake this season, not going all out and spending the 150 million that Levy wanted. I still think I'm not talking about, I was going on about City, but at the end of the day, they're still losing that class, and they've got, as I say, they've got no out striking, and they're still just knocking them in for fun.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness, I think they're going for Haaland next summer. What I would say about Man City is they drop a lot of players in between the lines. Certainly in recent seasons against us, they try and get in between the spaces between our central, defence and midfield. And I think when we played Wolves recently, we really struggled to pick up players when they drop into the hole. You look at Jimenez, who dropped in and kind of left his marker, and then obviously they had so many midfielders in there, and Everton couldn't really track the runners, and they couldn't mark that space. Do you think it's got to be two really compact banks of four and keep the gap between the central defenders and the midfield really short, and just hope that we can restrict them? Because I think there's a difference between playing a high line or a low block and also being compact. I think at times we get caught between, are we playing a high line? Are we playing a low block? Are we compact? Are we meeting the players out wide? It's difficult.
I think you've got to, with this one, is just part of the bus. I think that's the only way that you can play City, and the way with our squad that we've got at the moment. It may be indifferent if we had a fit DCL or, but at this present moment in time, we had the Corey, back, or, it'd be completely different. But I can't see any other way of playing.
They lost. I've just got my pop shield back. That's so much better. They lost to Crystal Palace at home. They lose there annually every season. There are some vulnerabilities, let me tell you. I think when you make Man City have to play these balls across the face of goal, they haven't got an out-and-out striker. They haven't got they shouldn't have scored the goals they scored against us at the Etihad, the last game of last season. They shouldn't have done that. But in reality, against most teams, they seem to struggle against a low block when they haven't got that number 9 there. And they looked for ways to try and drag the opposition out of position and to find the little pockets of space. So don't give them that level of space. Don't show them the same level of respect as we've shown other teams. Keep it very compact. Keep it narrow if we need to. Let them play the ball into the box, because I think aerially, even though we haven't got Yerry Mina, I think we should still have enough in terms of that. And also out to the players, stop them getting these long-range shots in, because otherwise it could be Gabriel Jesus again, haunting us as he does every match against us. And I think we can't go in there and be naive, and I think we can't go in there and do the same inept tactics we've done against them in recent seasons. I do think we have got players that could hurt them on the break in Richarlison, Townsend and Gray. And I think the only way we're going to do that is if we can isolate maybe Laporte, I think he's coming back from injury, maybe Stones, maybe Diaz. If we can try and isolate them maybe 1v1 in the channel and just try and get numbers forward, it is going to be extremely difficult without Decore. I'm struggling to think of a way we can really cause them problems in possession, because we're not great on the ball. Possession-wise, we're pretty shocking. It's a glorified counter-attacking team without really the foundations that you need. And coming on to the injuries as well, Mabs, I think that brings us in there. No Decore, no Yerry Mina, no Andre Gomez, and no Calvert-Lewin. Now, for me, I just don't understand where Andre Gomez is. There's been no clarification on that. He's been out for 3 months. Calvert-Lewin's injured, and then he's injured again, and then he's injured again just before he's coming back. What's going on with him? Yerry Mina played 3 games for Colombia and has come back and has not been seen since. So your face is speechless. And that's the spine of your team, isn't it? Well, certainly 3 of the 4.
Absolutely. And I just don't know where what's happening, where they're going. Yeah, it's a mystery, and I don't know why Everton have always had this cloud of mystery, but this one's a bit weird. It's just a bit. I know we don't get it myself personally. You're right.
Where are they?
Who knows? I know there's no sign of them coming back. I mean, again, where is Gomez? You know, I was talking about the cause. DCL again got injured again, but you're right. Yerry Mina came back. Like
he's been in training.
He's not been seen, so I don't know.
Apparently, he was in full training earlier this week. So the Yerry Mina one makes little sense to me, and it causes me frustration because I think Everton are a much better, defensive side when Yerry Mina's in there. I think the minute you take him out, we look like an absolute shambles at the back. Because he offers a little bit of calmness in there, and he is solid. He does make a couple of mistakes, but on the whole, he's arguably the best defender in there for us. I'd say that Decore is probably the biggest loss, maybe because I just think these games they are certainly lost in the midfield. If you get overrun in there, which I do anticipate we will, it could be a field day for City. Obviously, if you've got Calvert-Lewin up there, I think that motivates the players a little bit more and it can inspire you to maybe have a one-off worldy performance because you've got that threat up top. So maybe some would say Calvert-Lewin's the biggest miss, but I just think against City, if we can stay compact defensively, if we play the low block but stop them, let them cross the ball if they want, but mark the space really well and don't let them get these pot shots off. I think defensively we could have a chance going forward. With the injuries, I think it's going to be difficult to find the balance because what happens is, unfortunately, as you know, Mabbsy, 1 or 2 injuries throws the whole side out of balance. Everything goes out the window. We saw it last season. We're seeing it again this season. 1 injury at right back and the whole team's messed up. 1 injury in midfield, the team's messed up because the substitutes are just not that level. And we're coming into this game, we haven't got a good record against City in recent seasons. We haven't won in 5. I think we've only got 15 points in the league. I think we've played how many games? It seems like quite a lot now because we're coming into the November. It's not good. We need to somehow try and get something. We're not even good at set pieces anymore, defensively or going forward. So there's not an awful lot of positives. And I know you said before you don't want to sound too negative, but really, I don't think we've got a cat and house.
I don't unfortunately can't be. You know what? I'd love to say 10-0 or 5-0 or you know what I mean, but I've got to be realistic, and I'd love to say I will go using the confidence and. Yeah, he's just got to be. I'm sorry, guys, for being negative. I'm sorry, but I can't not be negative. If that makes sense, I've got to be realistic. You know what I mean? And it's just hard. It's hard, and I'm gutted. I'm not. I wasn't going, and I was going. And I'm not going. It's just one of them.
In fairness, Mabbsy, I think you might be grateful to have not gone and. It is one of those games in recent seasons where you've actually wanted Man City. I don't say this, but I'm on camera. You actually want Man City to win because of the title race and just to stop Liverpool. And I know that sounds bitter, but
let's just spin it like we want them to win. We don't want them to lose. Obviously, we don't. We don't want.
They use that as an excuse. And in fairness, I think in some of those other seasons, Everton might have had half a chance if we really got behind them. And I think. We actually wanted Everton to lose, but now it's like there's a lot in the season to go for. I think the title probably will go to Chelsea. So I'm happy I'd be obviously over the moon if Everton actually win there. And I think that they need a result like that. Even a point, just a result will try and lift everyone.
A point I'd celebrate that as a win. Let's be honest. I'm not going to lie and say wouldn't. I'd be so made up with a point because I'm just prepared to just go there and not get one, not get a point. So, you know what I mean? You know what? I think it's a case of, and I don't say this, and I don't take this lightly, this comment, but I think it's a case of I just want to score as low as possible.
And is that why you're in the dark, Rabs? So you can say these things. It's like you're on BBC Panorama and they've blurred your face out, so you can say whatever you want.
Yeah, pretty much. But you know, not. I'm trying to. I'm in the wrong way because the lights. It's so weird. The lights are on full, but as I say, just because of my iPad charging, and
that's all right, Mabbsy. You don't have to explain, Mabbsy. Do you know this is a bit off topic, but you know I was famous on social media on Wednesday. Did you see?
Yeah, I saw that. Value tweeted it, didn't he? Retweeted it or liked the tweet.
Tony Value. I was busking in Liverpool city centre, and Billy Moore, who's famous on Twitter, he's got 30,000 subscribers. He's got a big following in terms of Evertonians, and I think people have taken him into his heart for his videos. I think it's his brother who he records, and I don't know, was he Everton Fan of the Year? I'm not quite sure. I think so, but I'm a bit lost with it. Anyway, he's Twitter famous. He filmed me singing "Dance with My Father," put it on Twitter. I think it got about 20,000 views, and Tony Bellew liked the video. So Tony Bellew likes my music. It's a shame that this channel doesn't get anywhere near as many people. If it was half as good as my singing, we might be doing all right. But I obviously I'm not going to be in this game. Unfortunately, I'm working on Sunday. I'm going to watch it on my. I'm going to watch it on a legal stream, and I'm not anticipating an awful lot from Everton. I just want to see a bit of fight and commitment because I think we did show that against Spurs, which leads me on to the team selection, Mabbsy. Do you think it has to remain the same exact team? So you're Gordon, yeah. Excuse me.
As I said, Gordon's not come in for long. I mean, the team as it is. I mean, they fought last game. They put up some fights. So playing the same team. I just hope potentially that he's playing mind games and Mina does play, but I doubt it. You know what I mean? It's weird.
The
whole thing is weird to me, and I don't know.
Maybe it's a smoke screen, and Mina is actually maybe he'll make a surprise appearance. You never know, because Rafa's a bit weird with injuries, isn't he? Hi, Dave. So you're going for the same team?
Yeah, pretty much. What else do you play? Who else do you play? I think you don't play Rondon. Definitely not. Did you wear that you may be off? Please.
Yeah, it's just come up now. Why are Everton not stopping it? Sounds like bullshit to me.
I'll tell you what, mate. I'll drive him there myself. Absolutely. I'll tell you what.
Turkey.
I'll get him a new car. Drive him to Turkey. Not a problem. Or you can drive him to the airport if he wants to live. No issues. Love it,
Mabbs. So Rondon doesn't get in the team. Maybe a chance for Cenk Tosun or Ellis Sims? No?
Ellis Sims on the bench. I think Tosun will probably be on the bench too. Yeah. Then he's another one. He wants to leave, but then he wants us to pay him half a season. Well, if you want to leave, but we're not paying you half a season not to be there. Sod off. Yeah. Put buying kebabs, Jeff. Yes, Jeff.
When people watch this video back on YouTube, they're going to think, what's going on? I do think you can't change the team. I mean, I don't think the result against Spurs was that good. I think Spurs were shite and we were just not much better, really, and created nothing.
0-0. Was it 0-0?
Yeah, it was telegraphed to be a 0-0. I mean, David said to me half time, it's going to be a...
Those things are flying from there. But yeah, no, it was a good result. I'm not going to say it wasn't. It was. I was happy with that. We put in the shift, and again with the injuries we've got, and I hate blaming the injuries, but it all boils down to it.
It's not a good result.
It is.
It's a 0-0 draw at home against a really poor team that just changed the manager.
That was off a result where we got absolutely thumped the game before.
There's only so many of them results you can have before you really are sinking at the bottom. Look at our position now. We would say a draw at home to Spurs, okay, probably is a good result in the context of a good season. But look at where we are. We've got to start picking up points, Mabsy. I can't see the solution. I really can't. I'm telling you tactically what we need to do and what we need to avoid. Obviously, I don't think City have got the strongest set pieces. I don't think they're that good from set pieces. Hopefully, we might get away without conceding another one from there. Obviously, they're really good around the edge of the box. They're good with the pullbacks. We've talked about how we could potentially stop repeats of previous seasons. But in terms of the team news, I go for Gordon. I go for Richarlison, Gordon, Townsend, and Gray. I go for them as a front, like a 4. And then Allen and Delph as the 2 midgets in midfield. And then fullback, Seamus and Luca, and then in defence it picks itself Godfrey, Keane and Pickford. Now let's talk of people of Spurs being in for Pickford. Personally, I would sell Pickford if we got a really good offer for him, because he's still prone to these errors. I don't think I still see him make errors now and again. I see Pickford as kind of like a goalkeeper that Everton fans rate, but a lot of other teams think is a bit of a joke player. I don't know what you think about that, Mavs. I know there's a lot of people going on Twitter. I wouldn't sell him for anything. He's worth 70 million. I think if we got a better goalkeeper, or there was someone there on the market, and we got a good offer for Jordan from Spurs, I wouldn't. What I mean to say, I'm not pushing him out of the club. I wouldn't be bothered. I wouldn't be bothered, because I think he's one of many who really, flatter to deceive at times. He'll make 10, play good for 10 games, and then he'll make a howler and it'll cost us a win or something or other. You might agree, you might disagree, but that's what football is. I've seen too many mistakes. Football fans have got too many short memories, haven't they?
I'd say you're right. Football is of opinions, and wouldn't have it any other way. I would. I'd Everton banging them in and winning every game, obviously. But you know what I mean. Yeah.
What else has been on the agenda, Mabs?
It's nothing. It's been quite quiet, hasn't it? Really. England's fucking
Didn't watch it.
Nor did I. Absolutely a pointless game. Pointless 2 games. Playing a pub team, and you know what? It was ridiculous. Anyway, it is what it is. We won, and we're in the. But yeah, it's ridiculous.
You won't watch any of the games, and then you'll turn up for the final.
Of course, I watch the competition football. I love tournament football, but I don't like these pointless qualifiers. What is the point? Could someone explain it to me? Because don't say it. England, dead set against San Marino. It wasn't like it was.
It's pointless.
It's pathetic. And to be fair, they go up and they just get embarrassed. I mean, yeah, okay, they get a chance to play with big stars, but still, come on.
It's a disruption to the Premier League season for Everton to play San Marino. Yeah, I can understand why you'd be irritated.
All you said is, if you get the first 2 games into the season, then you have a international break. You come back with about 4. There's another fucking international break. Then there's another one. And then there's nothing until March, or it's fucking pointless.
More international breaks than the immigration office in the city centre.
Kills momentum. It does kill momentum as well.
We haven't got any momentum.
But we made momentum after Tottenham. Who knows? Maybe but it kills that momentum, and yeah. As I say, there's got to be a better way of playing these. Maybe it's time we start playing bigger teams, and then they play smaller teams. At least give them a fucking chance.
That's called the tournament. That's called the tournament. God help you when we actually have to go to Qatar mid-season next December.
You don't get a chance to get into the tournament to begin with. I mean, San Marino agreed they've got no help, but anyway, should we go to the comments?
Yeah. We're not going to keep you too much longer. I've got a headache thinking about the Everton City game. I really have, because we're on such a bad run. And this is kind of like a game you would rather have the injured players back for maybe the Brentford game. If you said to me, would you rather have Calvert-Lewin and Decore and all them back for Brentford, or you can risk them versus City? I probably would say save them for Brentford. I know that sounds bad. I just think we've got more of a chance next Sunday than we have against City. I think even if we had our strongest 11, we'd find a way to fuck it up because that's what we've been doing.
Yeah.
It'll be some cheap goal or fluff it. I'm glad Holgate's suspended. He can have a 10-match ban for all I care. But I don't think his part. I think that defense is so bad. You know that Michael Keane with anyone but Yerry Mina is awful. He really is. That's what I've seen. If he's with Mina, the two of them look quite good. They cope actually quite well. When Godfrey comes in with Keane or anyone but without Mina, it's really bad, and it's going to annoy me, you know, because it could potentially be 6-7-0 to City, you know, because what we've seen, we got battered, you know, at Wolves, we got battered at home against Watford. I mean, if you remember that, Mabbsy, and they weren't elite players. We're playing an elite team now. The defense is shite. The midfield will get run ragged, and my prediction, unfortunately, is going to be a 1-0 win to Everton with Andros Townsend scoring a worldie.
Everything up to miss. I don't want to give my prediction today.
I lured you in there with the negativity and then sprung the prediction of the 1-0 Everton win. I've got to. Dave Weston saying, I think Mabbsy's right. The performance to score was a million times better. Yes, of course. But you're comparing. It's like really bad analogy. But if I gave you a rotten apple, Mabbsy, and said, right, I give you this rotten apple for 3 weeks, you go, I don't like the taste of this. And then I give you a half-eaten pink lady, you would still take the half-eaten pink lady over the rotten apple, wouldn't you? That for me is, look, he doesn't like it, but that's for me.
We're desperate. We are desperate though, aren't we? Let's be honest at the moment.
We're desperate, Dan. And that's coming from Mabbsy, who took me down to QPR and also took me to Wolves, and is taking me down to Brentford next Sunday. So, Mabbsy, you know, it's not a good luck charm, is it? I mean, we haven't been to an away victory since Cenk Tosun.
The Mabbsy curse. So who knows? Maybe that's looking true. Going to see Prescott Cables on and off for like just like for a few games. We'll watch them for 2 years. I've been a few. Never seen them win. I've not seen them win, but this time they won on Tuesday night. Oh, it was so funny on the Saturday. We went to Rylands to watch them, and then their goalkeeper, while he was playing, offered me a fight. Ridiculous.
What did he say?
No, he was like meeting me in the car park after the game, and you know, you'll understand get some face and all this. I was like, what the hell, mate? Absolutely ridiculous. And
you're going to go back?
Interesting is Paul Stratford's club, who actually obviously Rooney's agent, Paul Stratford.
Very interesting fact. That's fact of the day from Mabbs. Yeah. Can I get your prediction, please, for Sunday?
As I said, I'm not going to offer one because I don't want to say it. Okay, I'm going to 3-0.
That's class. That's good.
3-0 to City. There, I've said it.
Oh. You lured me in there.
Realistically, we're not going to win. You can't say one. Yeah, 3-0.
Here's a question, Mabbs. Would you rather have Titus Bramble or Michael Keane?
Pass.
Would you rather have the car park fight or play in goal?
Car park fight.
Yeah, they should, Dave. You're right. I think it would make it more interesting, but no one would watch the San Marino versus Lithuania. And I know. I know. It was a dodgy VAR. I know. And I know that we were the better team on the day. Spurs were really poor. I think if we'd have had Calvert-Lewin fit, we'd have won that game. And I think we could say that about quite a lot of the games where we haven't been good, because under Carlo Ancelotti, believe it or not, we weren't that good, even when we were good, because we were just nicking a goal from a set piece and we were quite solid, or we just have that little bit of extra quality because we did have a Richarlison or Calvert-Lewin or James. So I think when you haven't got them, And don't forget, we've lost our record signing and a player who scored 8 goals and 5 assists last season, I think. So, you know, you're taking a whole lot of the players out of the team from last season. It's going to have an impact. Mabbsy, thanks for joining me on this video. Guys, thanks for watching. Follow Everton. You can hit that subscribe button and like. So it's not longer. And I know we've been away for a little while, but we'll be back. I'm really tired of being to work. And Mabbsy wants to go and enjoy his day off. But thanks for enjoying the video. And I'll speak to you all again soon. Thank you.